Hey everybody, to anybody that can see this at any point in time, it's the week before Christmas. And man, this time of year for about a 15-year period in my life was always just a really negative time period. Just the stressors, and not even the stressors of like my personal experience with gift giving, but the stressors of just being conscious in the month of December during, the season all year. It's like the reason for the season, da da da. The season to end all seasons is the Christmas season. It's all month long, right out of the gate, after Thanksgiving, you're inundated. And I was just surrounded with like this energy of people that were like in the Christmas zone, like shopping, people like ringing the bell, of course, family. And so there was this pressure to buy gifts, but really it was so much deeper than that. It wasn't about the damn gifts. That was just kind of symbolic, like, I don't know, kind of like the icing on the cake was the gift giving. It was just like get into the season of gratitude, of thinking about everything, and I just couldn't get there. I didn't. And then I felt like such an asshole because I couldn't get behind like the Christmas season, you know. And every time I saw like a home with lights, it made me just feel kind of like a piece of shit, because I didn't have the money, because I was like in active addiction, and I couldn't give a gift because I couldn't get my shit together because my mind was like in turmoil and all this and that. So here we are, and the week before Christmas, and I have to say, I love it. I love the Christmas season. It is so much fun. And for the first time, it's like I'm really, God, like I want to be that person. I want to be that parent who's like volunteering and getting, a gift for the teacher, like a little trinket of appreciation, and like volunteering at like the holiday party. These are huge things. And I just like want to put myself out there. And still at the like Christmas holiday party, I was like looking at other parents, and there were some that were like blowing my mind. They were like, Johnny on the spot, and they had this and that. And that is, that's the old way. That's the old me of like comparison and being like, God, everybody else is like so put together and so organized and efficient and yada yada, and holy shit, I didn't even like think to do this or whatever. But right before Christmas, it's a damn Christmas miracle, and I just wanted to share it. That it's like Eckhart Tolle says in The Power of Now. Read the title of that book, if not the book itself, and just comprehend what that means. Like the power of this very moment is like really taking a deep breath and planting your feet into like the earth of this moment. And when I do that, not just like for a moment, like taking a deep breath and really like centering, sometimes that's necessary, but just like living, from like this way out instead of outside in. It is so much easier, to not go about life like comparing myself to other people. And of course it comes through, and there's like moments of insecurity because I'm never going to be like that super put together like PTA mom. I'm never going to be like bringing like bomb ass baked goods, or whatever. But that's okay, because like, just showing up and being like, oh my God, these lights are lovely. This is kind of fun. It's kind of actually fun to not be so selfish. And it is a selfish thing. It's weird when you're like a codependent, a love addict. It's strange because you're just a walking expression of emptiness, and you're trying to like have that relationship, and that like state of being to make you a complete person. But really it's selfish because you're so hollow, but at the same time, everything about that you're doing is using another person. It's kind of like you're an energy vampire in that way. If you're a codependent, and certainly if you're a love addict. And like I've said before, the difference is codependency, and love addict is when you're addicted to your codependency, like when you are codependent, to the nth degree. Um, and I was definitely, both. So the latter. It's like, you're so hollow and looking for this validation and whatnot, but you're really like using them, and then at the end of the day, it's just like I felt used, but I was using them. So at the beginning of the year, it might have been Minnow Pond Tarot, one of like the tarot people that I watch pretty frequently, um, said something with like the 2025 general recap. And someone said, I think it was Minnow Pond Tarot for Taurus, but I'm not for sure, that come December, approximately mid-December, you are going to have such a gift, such a, something you've been wanting for a really long time. And of course, at the start, this time last year, at the start of 2025, I thought, oh my God, I'm going to get my book deal. I'm going to get published. And I remembered it because I thought, wow, it's going to be like the best Christmas, the perfect Christmas present. And oh my God, I feel like I have to pinch myself today that the present is, and God, it sounds so corny to say, it really does, but it's like that bumper sticker, the present moment is a present. It's a gift. To really understand that through embodying centeredness from right now, being in yourself, being autonomous, choosing, your perspective, and actually choosing to make your perspective be more than just like, the trauma, the sorrows, the pain, the how you got fucked over in 10th grade, or, not from the past, not from anxiety and just being like a jumble of nerves about how you're going to get fucked over in the future, but just from right now, to have your perspective just be like chill, like, yeah, I am myself right now. My past is my past. My future is like everyone else's, a question mark. But right now, I am myself, and that is enough, I said in an old video that, like with the affirmations, I was having a hard time saying like, oh, I am worthy, I am healed, I am this, I am that. So I started putting enough on the end of that. I am healed enough. I am worthy enough, so that way it felt truer for me. But just like harnessing the power of perspective, that's what now is. I mean, if we didn't have perspective, now wouldn't mean anything, because we wouldn't mean anything. We wouldn't exist. Christ consciousness is almost like redundant as a sentence if you're saying it right or living it right, correctly, in my opinion, because if you are conscious of your consciousness and you are coming from your consciousness through embodied autonomous place of love, at the end of the day, it's going to be love or fear. That is the question. And you're coming at it from love, and saying, hey, it's enough. I am enough. How is that not Christ consciousness? And it is like a Christmas miracle, not to sound hokey, but I felt empty and not fitting and ill-fitting my entire life. And just to be like, wow, it's not about if I get published tomorrow or in 2026 or whenever. It's about the fact that I can say, I wrote a book, I'm a writer. Oh my God, I have a dog. I'm a dog lover. I forced myself to acquire, to change my eating habits and to acquire a taste for canned chickpeas, boxed coconut water, tofu. It's delicious. I was like scared of tofu. Just like these little things, and I've said it before, make such a big difference. And if you can change your mind in the smallest way, then you are changed, and if you can just consciously say, I'm going to do this, and make it as big as it can be, but as small as it needs to be. And guess what? It's going to be the perfect size every time. So I was walking my dog this evening. It was cold. I was kind of dreading it at first because it was 5 o'clock. It was already like dark and freezing. And I took her for a walk. I was the only person there. the star, like the light up Christmas, the big Christmas star was like reflecting off of the lake, the most beautiful crescent moon. I looked to the star, I looked to the reflection, I looked over at the crescent moon. Birds flew across the sky. It was gorgeous. And I was like, wow, talk about a present, talk about a Christmas miracle. It doesn't have to be like, secular or not. It doesn't, I'm not talking about like Christianity or anything specifically. It's just like the season is now, and the reason for it is just gratitude and appreciation and love and presence. So y'all have a good night.